In 2020, retail e-commerce sales worldwide amounted to $4 trillion, projected to grow over $5 trillion by 2022. Shopping now is one of the most popular online activities worldwide, and it is simpler than ever before. You can buy anything online, from a paperclip to a high-end TV, and of course everything in between. You buy your desired product, get it delivered at your doorstep, and just keep it. But for any reason you decide not to keep it, you can return it right away, all from the comfort of your home. Let's take Amazon for example. Now Amazon, most of the time, does not sell directly to users, but rather is a marketplace which connects various sellers to buyers online. It is usually involved in the shipping or delivery process and takes margin from the seller as commission for connecting them to millions of users. Let's say you order a pair of headphones on Amazon. You open up the box and for whatever reason you don't like it. So you send it back for free, no questions asked. But have you ever thought about what happens to these headphones after you return them? Who are they going back to? The seller in this case is already losing money to pick the item, so how are they making up for this loss? So this week on Another Thing You Know, we look at what happens to items that you return online and where do they finally end up. With that in mind, let's begin. On average, 8 to 10% of all retail orders are returned. And this number is much higher for e-commerce, with an average 25 to 30% of all online orders getting returned. That means, on average, 1 in every 4 orders is returned. A recent research indicates that e-commerce will see more than $210 billion worth of returns in the US alone. Amazon is about half of that, which means it processes more than $100 billion worth of goods every year just in the US. Returns are certainly a big overhead for sellers and retailers. And while paid returns might seem to be the obvious solution here to cut costs, it does hamper the customer's long-term experience. About 80% of all online shoppers value free shipping and always check the return policy before buying a product. So paid return policy would drive these customers away to other platforms. So free returns now are almost non-negotiable. And if free returns are here to stay, how can an online retailer manage these returns to keep the cost low? This is where managing the returned items efficiently comes into play. Let's take the example of Amazon to understand this. Once your item has been picked up, the first thing Amazon does is evaluate if the product you have sent is resellable or not. One of the ways it determines this is by analyzing the reason of return, which you as a customer would fill in during the return process. If the product is resellable, it's simple. Amazon will refund your money back and put the item on its website again for selling. But things do start to get interesting if the item is not resellable. Amazon in this case broadly categorizes the product either as less than resellable or non-resellable at all. Less than resellable products are the refurbished products that you find on Amazon's website, particularly popular in the electronics and home appliances category. These products tend to work as new, but either have been used by someone else before returning, or the products have had some issue but now have been fixed and are ready to use. The ever-growing return market is now so huge that return logistics is now a business model, and we have many companies that buy these return products from online retailers like Amazon and sell them in bulk at discount stores to wholesalers. This return industry alone is now worth billions of dollars. Now, since Amazon is a marketplace, it usually works with the seller on these products to figure out the cost of refurbishment, collection, and relisting. The seller and Amazon relationship dictates the cost-sharing model, so we can keep that aside for now. The last category is of products that are not sellable at all. For these cases, Amazon typically chooses to remove or destroy the product altogether. Removing a product means Amazon will have to bear the cost from the seller, so typically they do destroy such products. The last case of destroying packages and products is not a very efficient one. Each year, roughly $7 billion worth of goods are destroyed due to them not being able to resell. Half of that again comes from Amazon. In 2019, one of Amazon's biggest warehouses in the US disposed of almost 300,000 products in just 9 months. This issue, apart from being a huge loss, also creates harmful environmental effects, as many categories like clothing or electronics are burned or simply disposed of. Efficient management of non-usable return goods is a serious issue that the entire e-commerce industry is trying to solve. Use of materials for packaging and products that can be recycled is an approach that many retailers, including Amazon, have now taken. It is important for consumers like you and me to understand where the return products land so that we are able to do our part. Returning purchased items is definitely a convenience, but the next time you return anything, remember to provide the reason of return, which will allow the fate of your purchase and might just help save the environment in the process. As always, do remember to click the like button if you enjoyed this video and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.